Dun, 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 the Fin Fam.
I'm so not used to that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Welcome everyone. This is the Fin Family YouTube channel. This is Gabe Cavalier. We got Pete over here on the ones and twos. Today we got some interesting topics for you today. Today we're going to talk about something a little lighter than we did before. Something that I think a lot of players struggle with in the sense of how to grow your local scene. Now, I think there are a lot of players that have a good solid four-man people, and those guys are grinding their asses off just trying to get more people to grow. But when we started playing at Mainline Chess and Games, we didn't have a scene. It doesn't just automatically come together. You know, I hate to say it, we're not like Magic the Gathering where people are just going to come and be like, this is what I want to play. This is what I want to play.
It's more of a niche.
It's a niche
game.
Yeah. You gotta stay fishy yet be nichey. You know.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I think, you know, why we wanted to make this video is I have a lot of experience in trying to grow scenes in the Pennsylvania area. Pete has been so helpful with growing this scene here at Mainline. So we want to use some of our, some methods that we found and maybe how to start, even if you don't have a local game store to play at, how to be the momentum in getting up the mountain of sweaty nerddom.
So what's the one most important idea when you are going to grow a local scene, Gabe?
Definitely just finding a store that's open-minded, motivated, and willing to try to bring new games to their store. They can be any type of shop. It can be a smaller shop, bigger shop. You don't want the shop that's trying to just sell you product like at a McDonald's that just want to rush you through the line. You want a store that's willing to listen and be open-minded to try different things. You want a store help to work with you to grow this game. But we need that store that's willing to make that extra step and not make you do all the legwork for it.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is have to be accountable for the store's growth. You want to be working hand in hand. They make money off of it. You get to enjoy a game that you love with your friends, and that's what the important thing is. It's a co-op.
It's a co-op, exactly.
And I think equally, it's important to try to, when you find a store, you want to go in and get to know some of the people that are in that store.
Trying to find people that just enjoy complex games. This is the game for them.
Finding a play group or a group of players at a store that are open-minded about playing different types of games.
I agree. I think where you start is finding players that may be interested in trying something new. They don't have to be your Magic person. They can be anybody who just likes board games. I know Pete's an avid board gamer. He just likes playing games. Just somebody who's open-minded. And I think that's a huge part.
And I think one of the things that can help with, showing those players how to play the game is to build a couple decks that are kind of on the lower power scale, that are a little bit easier to understand.
A little more edible, not your Cheesecake Factory cheesecake. It's all gooled up, got chocolate everywhere. It's like gonna be a $60 bill at the end of the day. It's like this big, kids, this big. You want to get it to be edible. You want it to be easy to understand. You know, one of the decks I really like is like, when you have a monocolored deck, it has a single kind of idea, gets people who may not have the experience in trading card games, let alone, resource management games. And you break down everything. That's the most important thing you can do. Make people understand why you're doing certain things, why it's important to do other things. And then you just go about teaching basic concepts, and that's the best way to do it. You don't bring your good old Sephiroth deck and you're just like dump your hand.
No,
Thanks for playing.
Nobody wants to play that game.
Enjoy. Starter decks, 10 ducks, please.
Yeah.
You want to play something that's a little easier, something to understand basic core concepts, and just something that you can both enjoy and see different, positive qualities.
Gabe, what is the second most important idea to keep in mind when growing your locals?
So, in the retrospect, it's about being consistent. You can say, oh, I wanted this game to go at my store. My store doesn't sell this product. and then they could be like, oh, well, we've never seen you before. Who the hell are you?
Like, who the hell are you?
Who are you people?
Who are you?
Who are you? So I think it's about being consistent and going to your locals, whether it be on a weekly basis. If you find a way with your crate group to go to a bi-weekly basis, finding a day that's consistent to go out and just play with your friends. Show the store that you are willing to put a little legwork in. That's really...
Yeah, because I think from the store owner's perspective, anything outside of a handful of games is kind of a big risk for them. And if you are consistently showing up and they know that they can at least rely on you for some of the product to sell, I think they'll have a lot more of a confidence to be able to make that initial investment.
And you got to realize that a lot of these stores, they know Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon will sell, but you got to put in a little bit of legwork to show them that you're willing to go. And I think there are other ways you can go about bringing those people in and finding ways of connecting with the people outside of the card. Don't make it just like you're coming in to play cards, you're playing cards, and then you're leaving. Making friendships is the best thing you can do. I wasn't just like, hey, Pete, you want to play FinFam and start making YouTube videos?
Actually,
that's how it all started. That's actually how it all started.
Yeah.
It's not even you gotta not look at it as like such a high, deep end thought. It's just make friends.
So one of the things that I think worries people when it comes to getting in a brand new game is the accessibility of the game. Gabe, can you think of some ways that we can make Final Fantasy more accessible for players?
Yeah, I think that one way that we both do this, we give a lot of cards to people. It's a good way to help build the game just on a prep. You get a new player, they're overwhelmed. There's 9 sets of cards, soon to be 9 sets.
And one of the cool things about Final Fantasy, once the store owner gains a little bit of confidence, is that most of the older Opus sets are still available at distributors.
Yeah, a lot of times when I've worked with Mainline about getting product, they can find the old packs, they can find the starter.
Opus 1.
Opus 1. It's out there, guys. Anybody that says that they can't find product, it's there. It's shown in the basement next to Uncle Larry. Just have a bunch of old-ass fucking boxes. So another thing we also recommend, this has worked for our scene personally, this might work for you. We do tournaments every Saturday. We allow proxies. You can proxy your whole deck.
Make it look like the card that it's supposed to be.
We
don't print it out.
Yeah.
Don't just scribble.
Just little scribble too. Yeah. This is Renoa. There's like 80 cards of Renoa. There's like 60 billion. Just if you're allowing people to proxy cards and allow them to play, as long as they're legible, it allows players to find a deck style they like or explore and to explore new archetypes without making that financial commitment.
And that might be what you have to do before, while you're trying to gain that confidence with the store owner to actually start supporting the product, is the easiest way to do it is to proxy it. And be okay. And don't, when you're playing somebody who's proxying, don't make them feel bad that they have a proxy deck. Don't, you can still play with all your foils.
We're still learning.
And stuff,
I mean, a lot of new players are still trying to figure out if they like the game.
Yeah.
Let alone, the best way to make somebody like a game is to tell them their proxies are trash, their deck's trash, and they play it like trash. That's how I got Pete into it.
So Gabe, tell me the number one deck to influence people to want to play Final Fantasy who's never played is to play against them with mono ice, right?
Yeah, dude, that's the way. If you're not dumping their hand on turn 2 or 3 and
they're
showing them the
play
interactiveness of you playing, and they get to watch, they get the front row seat, they're gonna really enjoy it. So I think
the point of that is try to play decks that aren't as competitive and aren't as feel bad, like hand discard or Yuri times 100.
Like Wimwater, Yuri.
Yeah.
Play something that's like enjoy for both of you to interact.
And simple enough for them to catch on to the concepts.
Sometimes those mono decks, those mono lightning decks where everything's dead, or you know, maybe playing mono win where you're just playing free big dudes. It's easy to get. It's edible,
and it's still powerful. It's still fun.
It's still fun.
I mean, mono win almost wins tournaments.
Yeah, it does. It got second at the last Crystal Cup.
Yeah. So we're not telling you to run garbage decks. Just run more simplistic.
Make a deck that's easy for somebody to see why cards are good and how the interactions work, so that when they're playing their deck, they can see different ways of reacting to those types of decks.
So Gabe, what is something? So we've talked about a lot of things when it comes to growing your scene and everything. When it all boils down to it, what's the most important thing that everybody should keep in mind?
Definitely just like helping players.
Yeah.
I think one of the big things that our game has as a big differentiator is we have a lot of good players that are willing to get other players that maybe aren't at the level that you are better and stronger. Focus on like coaching each other, improving game mechanics by just showing them why you do things a certain way. Or what I like to do, a lot of times when I'm teaching new players how to play differently, I say, let's play hands up. You don't have to, you got to look at things the way I look at things. Yeah. And maybe that will help you correlate on how to play better and how to improve your gameplay and improve interactions. And I think the most important thing you can do is have fun.
Have fun. Thank you very much for listening to our little bit of a ramble about building your locals. Hopefully that you guys found some helpful tips here. If you have any suggestions that other people might be able to benefit from, or maybe some things that we didn't think about, it would be awesome to hear about them down in the comments section.
We've had experiences that may be important to how our scene has grown. If there's anything that you would recommend, just let us know. We would love to hear it.
Thanks for watching, all you sweaty nerds. If you want to stay moist like us, please like, subscribe, and share with all your sweaty friends. And hope you enjoyed the video.
Till next time, and remember, use deodorant when drafting.
Always.